Friends, imagine this. You and your friends go on a trekking trip deep into the forest. There are beautiful waterfalls, tall mountains, and breathtaking valleys all around. But what if, hidden somewhere in that same forest, there's a mysterious force, something that starts hunting down your friends one by one and eventually comes for you too? A force that's neither human nor animal. What exactly is it? Let's find out through this story. The movie's name is Loop Track. The film begins with a man named Ian, who arrives in the dense forests of New Zealand. He parks his car near a trail and checks his phone. There are several missed calls, but he ignores them, picks up his bag, and heads straight into the woods. From his clothes alone, though, you can tell something's odd. No one usually dresses like this for a trekking trip. The journey soon becomes tiring, but Ian keeps going, refusing to give up. Eventually, he reaches a signboard that says, "Next cabin, 9 hours from here." This worries him a little, but he pushes on. After walking for a few hours, he stops to check his feet. They are covered in rashes. He quickly applies some bandages and continues his trek. But even though he hasn't been walking for long, his condition already looks rough. While walking, he spots a couple nearby. The sight of them makes Ian anxious, so he hides in the bushes and quietly watches them. From his behavior, it's clear this man avoids people and prefers to be alone. Kinda like me. But when the couple stands there for hours taking pictures, Ian gets impatient. Thinking they're not leaving anytime soon, he sneaks ahead through another path in the bushes. After some time, he sits down to eat something from his bag. Just then, another man named Nick shows up, a talkative, loud guy who immediately starts bombarding Ian with questions. Now, Ian's already exhausted and in a foul mood, so he ignores him completely, picks up his stuff, and starts walking away. But Nick somehow convinces him, saying, "Come on man, let's walk together, it'll be fun." So they continue trekking together. Nick keeps talking non-stop, while Ian quietly listens and keeps walking. After hearing Nick chatter for hours, Ian finally says, "Look man, I need to pee. So, can I get a little privacy?" But Nick, being the shameless guy he is, turns around and says, "Go ahead man, I'll just wait right here." After hours of walking, the two finally reach a cabin. Ian again insists on separating, saying he'll go on to the next cabin, but Nick tells him the next one is a whole day's walk away, so Ian has no choice but to stay there for the night. When they go inside, they find that the same couple, Monica and Austin, are already there. Nick quickly befriends them and starts chatting away. Later that night, Ian is in the kitchen frying some meat when Nick walks in. Seeing him, Ian suddenly gets nervous and takes the half-cooked meat off the pan. Nick, confused, says, "Hey man, at least let it cook first." So Ian tries again, but this time he ends up burning it and the kitchen catches fire. Panicking, Ian freezes, but Nick, Monica, and Austin rush in to help and manage to put the fire out. Embarrassed by his mistake, Ian quietly packs his stuff and leaves the cabin. But as soon as he steps out into the dark forest, he sees something terrifying moving in the shadows. Horrified, he immediately runs back to the cabin and tells Austin what he saw. Austin, however, brushes it off, saying, "You probably just imagined it, man." Everyone then goes to sleep, but Ian can't close his eyes the entire night. Whatever that thing was, it has completely shaken him. The next morning, Monica asks him, "Is something bothering you?" Ian silently nods. Nick, surprisingly, isn't angry about the fire incident. In fact, he says, "It's okay, man. Forget about last night, the four of us will trek together today." Ian doesn't really like the idea, but when Nick offers him a pair of good socks to help with his rashes, he reluctantly agrees to go along. They pack their things and set out into the forest again, chatting and sharing stories as they walk. Ian, though, stays quiet. His only goal is to reach the next destination and finally get away from this group of loud strangers. After a while, they stop near a river to rest. During their break, Monica points out something strange. "Has anyone noticed we haven't seen a single bird in this forest yet?" That was indeed odd. Austin adds, "I actually saw a dead bird here yesterday," but the group laughs it off and ignores it, continuing to ask Ian personal questions instead. Ian replies, "I was married once, but now I live alone." When they keep pressing for more details, he makes an excuse, "Excuse me, I need to pee," and walks off into the woods. There, he spots a tree with bloodstains and claw marks on it. He's terrified. He rushes back and tells the group what he saw, but they assume it must be some animal's doing. So they continue their journey deeper into the forest for several more hours. But Ian looks increasingly uneasy. At one point, when he glances back, he gets the chilling feeling that someone or something is following them. When he mentions it to the others, they all turn around, but no one's there. By evening, the group finally reaches another cabin and decides to stay for the night. Inside, they notice two women's backpacks lying on the floor, but the women themselves are missing. The sight makes Ian uneasy again. A little later, they find a guitar and start singing and laughing together. Ian, however, sits silently by the fire, lost in thought. Later that night, while he's alone in the living room, he starts hearing eerie sounds. As he slowly moves toward the door, Nick suddenly shines a flashlight in his face, startling him. Concerned, Nick asks, "You okay, man?" He even gives Ian a sleeping pill, saying softly, "I know how hard it is to escape your past. Just try to get some rest." Ian finally opens up a bit, saying, "I'm exhausted. I just want peace. I can't sleep anymore. But this place, it's too quiet. So quiet that now the voices in my head are driving me insane. insane. Nick tells him to drink some water and try to sleep. When Ian goes to the bedroom, he notices the women's bags again. He opens one and finds a camera inside. Curious, he checks the footage and sees two women happily trekking through the forest. But then, one photo catches his eye. There's a strange shadow behind them. Looking closer, Ian realizes the shadow is none other than Nick's. Terrified, he faints on the spot. The next morning, Ian wakes up wrapped in a sleeping bag on the floor. Monica walks in and asks why he slept there. Ian tells her, "Nick gave me sleeping pills last night." Just then, Nick and Austin enter, and when Nick hears this, he's shocked. "What? I only covered you with a blanket so you wouldn't get cold." But Ian doesn't believe him. He grabs the camera and accuses Nick of killing the two missing girls. When he tries to show the footage, the camera battery is dead. Still, Ian insists, "Nick killed them. He drugged me because I was getting close to the truth." Nick, now angry, shouts, "What are you even talking about? Stop blaming me for nonsense." Before things get worse, the two female hikers walk back into the cabin, safe and sound. Everyone is stunned. The misunderstanding clears up instantly. Ashamed for falsely accusing Nick, Ian quietly packs his bag and leaves, but soon, guilt hits him hard. He returns, apologizes to Nick, and Nick forgives him without any bitterness. They talk as if nothing ever happened. Later, the group splits up. Monica and Austin decide to see the waterfalls, while Nick and Ian continue trekking deeper through the woods. The plan is to meet at the next cabin. As Nick and Ian walk through the dense forest, they lose their way. Suddenly, Nick almost steps into a bear trap, but Ian pulls him back just in time. They continue searching for the right path, but soon Nick starts feeling stomach pain and stops to rest. At that moment, Ian senses something again, as if someone's watching them. He sees the same dark shadow that's been haunting him all along. He asks Nick, "Do you see that too?" But Nick shakes his head. "No, I don't see anything." Then they hear the sound of rushing water and decide to move toward it. But Ian starts feeling a deep sense of dread, convinced that something terrible is about to happen. Nick tries to calm him down, saying, "Relax, man, you always overthink." He hands Ian a flashlight, and they keep walking as night falls. The forest grows darker and eerier. Suddenly, Ian trips over a rock and drops his flashlight. Nick yells, "Hey, that torch was expensive, go get it!" Nervous but obedient, Ian goes to pick it up, and just as he lifts the flashlight, he sees that same dark shadow again, closer than ever before. Terrified, he runs straight back toward the others. Panicked, he tells them, "Did you see it? That thing that's been following us?" But everyone can see he's losing his mind. Later, they all reach another cabin. Monica, Austin, and Nick talk among themselves and decide Ian can't continue hiking like this. For his safety, Nick will escort him back. Ian resists, but eventually agrees. That night, he still can't sleep, his mind filled with fear and confusion. The next morning, Ian and Nick begin their journey back through the woods. Jan decided to take some rest, and on the way, apologized to Nick, saying, "I'm sorry, buddy. Because of me, you had to quit the trek halfway." Nick laughed and replied, "No worries, man. I was planning to go back anyway. It's fine." Jan then asked again, "Am I really going crazy? Why do I keep seeing those things?" Before Nick could answer, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach and ran toward the bushes without saying a word. Once again, Jan was left all alone. Soon after Nick left, Jan started hearing strange noises again. Scared, he went to check, and what he saw left him in shock. At the same time, Monica and Austin were returning from the trail when they saw Jan running toward them in terror. He was screaming, "That thing killed Nick! It ate him!" Austin and Monica couldn't believe what he was saying. Monica insisted, "We should go back on the trail," but Jan tried to stop them, saying, "No, we have to go the other way." Monica and Austin stepped aside to discuss it, and Austin pulled a knife from his pocket, saying, "We'll move on alone now, and if you try to follow us, think twice." Jan just stood there, speechless, not knowing what to do. A little later, Austin and Monica reached a spot and stopped to drink some water. Suddenly, something struck Monica's back. Blood gushed from her mouth, and a powerful creature dragged her into the forest. Seeing this, Austin panicked and ran after her, shouting her name. Then he saw Jan hiding behind a tree. Enraged, Austin grabbed Jan and yelled, "What did you do to Monica?" "Tell me now." Jan pointed toward an open area. There lay only the upper half of Monica's body. Austin ran to her, burst into tears, and in anger attacked Jan. Jan ran away, but a bear trap was set on the ground. Jan jumped over it, but Austin got caught. Just then, both of them saw the horrifying creature, a massive black bird, almost mythical looking. It dragged Monica's body into the woods and disappeared. Jan and Austin ran until they found a small cabin deep in the forest. Austin lay down on the bed, exhausted, while Jan searched for something to defend them. He found an axe and stood guard near the door. Austin said, "I'm sorry, man. I thought you were crazy." Jan replied, "It's okay. I thought I was crazy too." Suddenly, loud banging came from the door and a huge shadow appeared behind it. Jan gripped the axe tightly and stepped forward. The next second, the door burst open. The terrifying monster entered, towering over them. It slowly moved toward Jan, but Austin threw something at its head, distracting it. The creature turned on Austin in fury, slamming him to the ground. Austin didn't give up and tried to hold it back. Jan got up and swung the axe at the monster, but before he could strike, the creature rammed him into the wall with its head. Then it grabbed Austin again, crushed him with its claws, and gouged out one of his eyes, killing him instantly. The beast screamed loudly, almost as if in celebration. Then it turned toward Yan and attacked. Yan dodged, and the bird's beak got stuck in the ground. Yan seized the moment, threw something at its face, and tried to run, but the creature struck him again, slamming him into the wall. This time, Yan grabbed its beak and held on with all his strength. The creature lifted him off the ground, but in a desperate move, Yan jammed his fingers into its eyes. The monster screamed in agony and bit off Yan's hand. Despite the pain, Yan grabbed its neck with his other hand, and after a fierce struggle, the beast collapsed to the floor, seemingly dead. Yan, traumatized and exhausted, sat there crying all night. By morning, it was raining. Yan began walking back toward the trail. When he reached the starting point, he broke down crying. But then he realized the drops falling on his face weren't rain. They were blood. He looked up and saw a woman's corpse hanging from a tree above him. Terrified, Yan ran, and suddenly that same black bird appeared again. It wasn't dead after all. Yan fled down the path, completely exhausted. When he looked back, the bird attacked again. Yan grabbed its beak, but it slipped and pierced his leg. As the creature's beak got tangled in his clothes, Yan tore them off and ran toward the parking area. He tried to open his car, but it was locked, so he started walking down the road on foot. After some distance, he saw a car approaching, and the driver stopped and saved Yan's life. In the end, Yan was the only one who managed to escape the forest alive. As for what that bird really was, and where it came from, we'll find out in the next part of the film, which hasn't been released yet. And friends, how did you like this video? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you in the next thrilling story.